What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. Damn, we got some bad news regarding your mans, Eddie, Down Bad Hearn, and Bumelo, Bumvarez, yeah? Listen, recently, ever since me and Bumelo fell out, a lot of the Bumelo man fans have come at me saying, YB, you're a fangirl, YB, you flip flop, this, that, the other. Oops. I tell you before, I know character. I can look in the eyes of a man. I know Bumelo. I know who he is and I know who he ain't. And this video here, this leaked information, is going to prove everything I've been saying over the last 2 weeks. All Bumelo cares about is his pockets and easy fights. Yeah? 2-2s. Canelo Alvarez has now indicated that he will take the Gennady Triple G spot Golovkin trilogy fight next instead of the immediate rematch with Dmitry Bivol. Bumelo will be moving back down to super middleweight and defending his undisputed WBA, WBC, IBF and WBO world titles on September 17th against Triple G spot. Oops. Yeah? So all you Bumelo fans telling me, YB, he dared to be great and this, that, the other. If he dared to be great, why isn't the rematch being run? He had no problem rematching. Triple G went straight in there. But now, because of the money, Bumelo knows Golovkin's getting old. Golovkin's not going to be around to hang around, maybe. But even then, scrap that. If Bumelo was confident of beating Bivol, he can fight Bivol in September in 4 months, and then fight Triple G in January. Oops. Yeah, that's what he could do. Here's the money, man. Not being funny, Triple G ain't going nowhere, is he? Triple G, whether he fights in September or March next year, he don't care. He's old anyway. It's not like it's close. He's old as... Listen, he's old like an old leather boot. Yeah? Makes no difference to him whether it's 40 or 41. At this point, he's shot to bits anyway. So, this proves Bumelo is scary of Bivol. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. In as much as you've just gone up to 175, you said you were struggling with the weight. Well, why would you come back down now? Your best bet would be to stay at the weight and bulk. Instead, you're going back down. Now, I don't know. What I will say is, I'll give Bumelo a lot of respect if he goes down to 168 to fight Triple G in September, and then says, okay, Bivol, I struggled at the weight, I want to do the rematch at 168. I'll respect that for all the belts. That would make sense then. He's going down to go back to his own weight. He wants the rematch there. That'd make sense to me. But if he thinks he's going to go down to fight Triple G and then come back up, get serious. That's dead. That makes no sense. Or, tell a lie, it makes sense for money. Yeah? Bumelo can have a relatively easy fight against Triple G. I think Bumelo can even stop Triple G, maybe. Well, I'm not sure, actually. Yeah? I'm not sure because Bumelo, he doesn't have that warrior spirit. And I think you might need that to stop Triple G. I don't think you're going to be able to hit Triple G with one left hook every round like you did with Caleb Plant Pot and he's going to jump on the floor. I think you're going to need a bit more than a left hook every now and then. Yeah, I think Bumelo's going to need a bit more than a left hook to the arm to get rid of Golovkin, even at 50-year-old. Yeah? And rightfully so. Now, is Bumelo going to dig in against Golovkin? Well, we're going to find out. Because listen, Golovkin's a static target. He doesn't move like, well, maybe, certainly in his last fight, Golovkin doesn't move like Bivol. He's older. So, plus Bumelo's coming off a loss where he should be really motivated now. There's no excuse for us to see Bumelo looking like he was in the Mayweather fight, looking like he was in the Bivol fight, where he just didn't want to commit. Facts. Go and watch De La Hoya versus Floyd. De La Hoya marched Floyd down. Floyd didn't leave the ropes the whole fight. Yeah? De La Hoya was all up in his arse. Facts. guess what? Bomelo, who's supposed to be the younger, fresher one, he didn't do shit. Floyd was in the centre of the ring the whole night, boxing his head off, boxing his ears off, making him look silly. Bomelo really has never had that fire, that burning, true Mexican style. He's never had that. Oops. Yeah? It's a bit like John Fury. It's all a big... John Fury, people like John Fury and Bomelo, they assimilate cultures they're not from. I'm sorry, Bomelo isn't true Mexican style. He's not. Because if he was, we'd have seen it by now. Show me the fight you've seen Bomelo go Mexican style. Where? Go on. Yeah? Don't get me wrong, Bomelo's great at being an on-top fighter. If he can go in there and hit you a few times and you end up jumping on the floor, he'll look great. But if he has to dig in, the fact of the matter is we haven't seen that. And now, guess what? He's just, I'm not being funny, he wasn't battered in the Bivol fight, so it begs the question, okay, you've lost the Bivol fight, you lost it in a boxing kind of way, but yet you're now running off to do something else, to collect more coin. How embarrassing. What happened to integrity? What happened to pride? You know what? I just lost. Triple G, you can wait or not wait. I'm going to handle this business. Now, I ain't going to lie to you. From a business point of view, I understand it. But don't forget, people, Bomelo's always said to people like Ryan Garcia, oh, don't put business first, be hard first. Yeah, I love the sport. That's what Bomelo's been telling people, hasn't he? Bomelo's been prancing around the place, acting really hard, telling Anthony Johnston, oh, I know how to beat Usyk. Well, oops. Yeah, Usyk, you can't even beat the man who your own size about Usyk. And again, people can say, YB, you was on the bandwagon for that. Listen, I didn't know that Canelo had no balls. I thought I just assumed he did. I'm sorry, I was wrong again. People think that I'll die on a hill. When I'm wrong, I'll put my hands in the air. Yeah? Bomelo deceived us. Facts. He sold it. He told us he was really hard. He told us he knew how to do this. He knew how to do that. In reality, he knows how to hit people on the arm and then hope they fall over. If Bomelo if Bomelo hits his opponent on the arm, yeah, and they don't end up jumping on the floor, he out of ideas. He sit on the ropes, feeling sorry for himself. And then after the fight, all of a sudden, wait there a minute, Bomelo. You've just spent the last 7 rounds on the ropes for the last 2 minutes of every round, but then the bell goes in the 12th and we see you jumping on the ropes. Where'd all that energy come from? I'm baffled. I'm baffed. Honestly, I was baffed. I thought, what the... This guy just spent the last 8 rounds doing nothing for half of it, but yet the bell goes and he's jumping on the ropes, putting his hands in the air, celebrating. You goofy dude. Yeah? Don't tell me you're tired, but then you're jumping on the ropes, celebrating, trying to rob the judges or rob Bivol. Yeah, you should have bowed your head in shame and accepted. You know what? I got my ass molly-whopped. That's what you should have done. Yeah. So he knew what he was doing when he said that, or he knew what he was doing. He was hoping Eddie Hearn had paid the judges. Now, as it happens, Eddie Hearn, he knows Bomelo doesn't have any loyalty to him. He saw that a few months ago when Bomelo left. And then Eddie Hearn had to beg for him to come back. So I believe Eddie Hearn set Bomelo up. I believe Eddie Hearn realised, listen, in the day, Bomelo hasn't showed me no loyalty, so why should I fix the judges for? Especially now when there's a lot of heat from federal law enforcement knocking around the place. I'm not going to rig the judges for someone who's going to swan off to Showtime whenever it takes their fancy. So Eddie Hearn cashed in Bomelo, realising, listen, Bomelo's rematch is going to be a lot more valuable to me than not having it, isn't it? Let's be real now. Bomelo losing is the next big fight. Oops. Eddie Hearn don't care. He'll cash it straight in, and arguably rightfully so. Why should Eddie Hearn rig the judges? Even though Eddie Hearn wasn't doing it for the fans' sake or for the sport's sake, he was doing it for selfish reasons. But still, either way, yeah. I'm glad he was being selfish, because that meant that Bomelo... Cause let's not forget, people, if Bomelo had gotten the judges' scorecards, he wouldn't have come out and said, yeah, you know what, I lost that. Look at Josh Taylor, same thing. These guys ain't got no shame. So thank God it wasn't a robbery, because Bomelo would have took the win and ran off and swanned around acting like he really hard. lambasting Ryan Garcia. Now, I'm not saying, you man know me, I'll air out Ryan Garcia like anyone else, but Bomelo, to be sitting there on his high horse, giving out really advice about how hard you need to be, and where was all that? Where was it? About how dedicated you need to be. Bomelo, where was your dedication in the Bivol fight for the last 7 rounds? Where was it? Yeah? Where all that, listen, Bomelo, all them fights you've been selling on Cinco de Mayo and the September one, where was that? Because you've been taking the culture. Facts. Bomelo has been rinsing the Mexican culture. But when it was time to give something back, where was it? The people want to know. Your fans was booing you, and rightfully so. They should have booed louder, in my opinion. Yeah? Because you swan around talking about Cinco de Mayo and rinsing the culture and rinsing the public holidays for your pay-per-views. And it came to giving something back, like digging in, and you weren't nowhere to be found. You was sitting there with your face screwed up, feeling sorry for yourself. Oh, I hit Bivol on the arm, and he hasn't jumped on the floor yet. Oh, Eddie, oh. That's what he looked like. Facts. Oh, what do you mean, Bivol? I just hit you on the arm 3 times. Why haven't you jumped on the floor like Caleb Plant? Oh, why haven't you gone to the corner and jacked like Billy Joe's sausages? Yeah? So listen, would I like Triple G to knock Bomelo out? I would, but it's not going to happen. Triple G shot to bits, facts. Triple G's too old, he too shot, and listen, people have got carried away. People have got way too carried away. I'm going in hard on Bomelo, you best believe it, but I'm not delusional, yeah? Just because Bivol beat Bomelo doesn't mean, all of a sudden I've heard people saying now, oh, Benavidez will knock Canelo out. Come on, man, let's get serious now. I mean, of course, Bivol beating Bomelo, that does help Benavidez. His odds go up from that, but I'd still make Canelo a huge favourite. And really, I think Canelo can even stop, well, tell I. He won't stop Benavidez because his gas tank will run out and he'll give up. But if Canelo had real heart, if Canelo had the heart of Castaño, then I think that Canelo, yeah, with Castaño's mindset of being ready to go in there and proper get stuck in, that Canelo would stop Benavidez. Too much pressure, too much work rate. But this current form will beat Benavidez on points. Although, who knows? Who knows, actually? Who knows? Because let's say Canelo wins the first 6 rounds and then runs out of gas, and Benavidez starts coming forward and putting big combinations. Who knows, actually? Who knows? That's a good point, actually. Who knows? Yeah, you just don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, you know what? The more I think about it, the Benavidez fight is probably a lot closer than we think. Because Canelo's going to go in there. He might win the first 7 rounds until he runs out of gas. But then, what it will come down to is how hard Benavidez is. If Benavidez has that Castaño in him, where he's prepared to go sleep, I think he can potentially beat Canelo now, thinking about it. Because like I said, if Canelo runs out of gas after 7 rounds, and then Benavidez, tactically, if I was training Benavidez, we'd train, because we know the judges are going to give Canelo the first 5 rounds anyway, so what's the point? There's no point really doing much. If I was him, I'd go in there, against Canelo, I'd draw him out, high guard, tight guard, like Bivol had, and I'd let Canelo punch away for the first 6 rounds, get him nice and tired. And then the last 6 rounds, I'd give him hell. That's what Benavidez should do. Them last 6 rounds, last 7 rounds, just putting pure hammer down. 60, 70 punches around. Overwhelming him. Because that's something that Bivol didn't do. Bivol didn't take advantage. Canelo would fight the first 60 seconds and then do nothing for the rest of the thing. And that should be anyone who fights Canelo should go in there, the first 4 rounds, draw him out and let him punch himself out. And then the last 7-ish rounds, let Canelo come out for the first minute, draw him out, let him punch himself out, but then the last 2 minutes, you go hard. I'm talking 60, 70 punches in the last 2 minutes, just sticking it all over him. Because when Canelo's gassed, he don't know how to push through. He just gives up and goes to the ropes. That's when to be honest with you, we did see little spots where Canelo, would do something for the first minute, and then for the last 2 minutes, or the last 30 seconds of the round, Bivol would start teeing off, and Canelo couldn't People talk about, oh, you got to be careful of Canelo's counterpunching. How many times did we really see Canelo counterpunching off the ropes? We didn't. We didn't. Simple as that. We didn't see it. He was gassed. He was literally knackered. He couldn't do nothing. And he was a victim, and really Bivol didn't take advantage of that. Bivol should have really seen the fact that, and Bivol's corner should have seen the fact that Canelo was knackered after the first minute of every round. For the last 6 rounds, watch it for yourself. After the first minute, Bomelo would do nothing. Bivol should have read it. Bivol and his team should have said to him, listen Bivol, don't do anything for the first minute. Save your energy. Because Canelo has proven he can only fight when he's got a whole lot of energy. That's why he comes out hot after the rest. But then he's knackered for the last 2 minutes. Someone needs to take advantage of that, and someone like Benavidez who has a good gas tank, that's what the strategy must be. And who knows, if he plays the strategy down well, plus Canelo's getting older, who knows, he might even stop Bomelo, to be honest with you. 100%. Especially if Bomelo's already had a hard fight against Bivol again as well. But anyway, listen, the point is, I've digressed there, but the point is, listen, Bomelo. The truth is, I think this is going to be a duck and switch from Team Bomelo. I think that they ain't got no intention of fighting Bivol. I think this is convenient. Oh yeah, we'll fight. Well, we had Golovkin booked anyway, so we'll fight Golovkin and then we'll fight Bivol. Why do I think that's convenient? Well, Eddie Hearn's fixing to put Bivol in there with a whole bunch of hard fights. So Eddie Hearn's best bet now is to get Bivol beat. And then say, oh well, Bivol lost and he hasn't got a belt, so but it doesn't make sense for Bomelo to fight him now anymore. That's what's getting set up here. And to be honest with you, I did warn Team Bivol. I told them, listen, you best get out there now and start pushing it. Team Bivol should have been in the media for the last month or however long since the fight's been on, punking Bomelo, saying, listen Bomelo, you best not run to fight Golovkin from me. Because I want your ass at 168. Why are you running to fight old ass Golovkin when I just popped your cherry? Yeah? Facts. Bivol just popped Bomelo's prime cherry. All the Bomelo man fans, yeah, have been saying for years, and I have to admit, myself included, but again, I didn't know he was fake news. But anyway, many Bomelo fans have been saying, oh, Floyd didn't beat the real Bomelo. Yeah, Floyd didn't beat the prime Bomelo. Oops. Well, Bivol just popped prime Bomelo's cherry, and Team Bivol should be in the media. They should have been in the media for the last month saying that. Yeah, if I was on Team Bivol every day, we'd have been putting videos out saying, listen, why are you running off to fight some random ass dude? I'm the one who pops your shit. Yeah? Your name from now on is Canelo Bivol. How about that? I'm daddy right now. Come get, you know what I mean? Come get your virginity back that I snatched. 100%. I just popped your booty virginity. Now what? Oops. Yeah, that's what you should be saying. But instead, guess what? We ain't even heard a peep out of Bivol. He missing. And that's why I ain't got no time for none of these guys, man. They're low IQ. All their teams as well. What are they doing? Dead ass teams. No IQ at all. No marketing experience. Yeah, these cats should have been on there pressing Bomelo. Yeah, don't worry, Bomelo. We heard you couldn't handle the weight. No problem. I'm gonna come down there and tax that and pop that prime cherry some more. Yeah, I'm gonna come pop that undisputed best of all time 168 cherry. I'm gonna push that shit in as well. I just pushed your shit in at 175. I'm gonna push some more in at 168. Oops. Yeah, that's what he should be doing. Instead, he missing somewhere. Don't no one know. Ain't no one seeing where Bivol at right now. And he got no one to blame but himself. Yeah? All these guys got no one to blame but themselves. It's weird. I don't understand it at all. We're talking about millions of bucks and still, these cats just sit around and play silent. Letting Eddie Hearn and Bomelo run the narrative. And I'm not being funny, we've been saw this immediately after the fight. Eddie Hearn was saying, no, there's no way. Oh yeah, there's no way the Triple G fight can happen. Bomelo's got too much pride. I know Bomelo, and he's gonna want the rematch. Again, Eddie Hearn loves to bait and switch. He'll tell you the opposite of what's really coming. He'll tell you what you want to hear, yeah? Bumelo fans wanted to hear that, of course he ain't going to fight Triple G, and of course he wants to rematch immediately. But then, 2 weeks later, we ain't hear nothing about no rematch, and now it's been, oh, you know, the Golovkin fight makes sense now, and what? You just said that Bumelo... Wait a minute, you just said Bumelo's full of pride, and you know he won't want nothing but the rematch, but now you're telling us, actually, he wants Triple G rematch. What? You told us he had too much pride, so wait a minute, Bumelo, where did all the pride go that Eddie Hearn was telling us you had? Yeah? And that's what I tell you, these cats are full of shit. Full of shit. They wouldn't listen. Canelo and Eddie Hearn wouldn't know pride if it slapped them in the face. Yeah? 100%, but listen. I'm not surprised. This is standard stuff today. Bumelo running from Bivol. Ducked him again. And I'll be surprised if this fight happens at all, to be honest with you. I think Bumelo's learnt his lesson now. He's wound his neck in. And he's going to stay at 168. That's what I think can happen now. And that's why I mean, if I was Team Bivol, F175, no one cares about 175. If I was Bivol right now, I'd be setting up to become mandatory at 168, because like I said, 175 ain't going nowhere. There's a bunch of bums there, a bunch of unknown bums there. Who cares? No one cares. In terms of money, in terms of notoriety, in terms of pound for poundness, if you go down to 168 and pop Bumelo's cherry in his own weight division, that's the biggest thing you can do for your career on every single metric. And then, like I said, 175 ain't going nowhere. You can then go up there for the other half of your career. But for the next year or two, your goal should be hunting Bumelo down, one way or another. Because Bumelo's got nowhere to run to. He can't run to 175 because Beterbiev will knock him out. Oops, yeah? And he can't go down, or if he did, if Bivol makes a run for 168, yeah? And then Bumelo vacates the belts and goes down to 160, then that'll be the biggest ever massive huge duck in history. And so be it. But that's what he should be fixing to do right now. Instead, his team, funny style, and that's what it is. But listen, if Team Bivol allow Canelo to duck, that's on them. Because I've passed them the game. And if they ain't want to listen, well, there's nothing more can be done. Yeah? If your team's too low IQ, then that's what it is. And he deserves it. He deserves to get bumped. Because he's too low IQ, 100%. But listen, Canelo, he proved he ain't the warrior he talk about being. He another numbers man. He like coin. Yeah? He another scammer like Anthony Johnston. That's just what it is.